call myself a facilitator of learning because I don't just tell people what to think or learn or, information. It's not coming from me. It's coming from their investigation. So I don't just teach children, I teach parents, I teach folks who are in prisons, I teach in women's support groups. So I'm out there a lot doing a lot of different things with learning. But this one, what are you teaching the world? So I want to start us off with a little exercise so we can see who we are. And that is, I'd like you to shout out a phrase starting with I am and follow it by an attribute or a virtue or a quality that you have. Like I will say, I am compassionate. I am creative. Let's go. Keep going.
Curious.
Caring, keep going.
I'm funny.
Then you're back here. All right.
I'm short.
I'm tall.
Okay, that could be a virtue. But so the reason we did that is because I want you to hear not that you bring gifts and qualities and bring goodness into the world, but the people around you shouted things out too. All right? Well, you hold that in your minds. That you heard others also say the goodness that they bring to the world, because that's going to come up for us as we move forward, which is to the story of my mother's socks. And I'm telling this story because it's going to show us a couple of different ways that we can teach the world. We're going to examine those. This is a true story, and it starts with my mother, who worked really hard and would come home after the end of the day and then have 2 kids to get ready and everything. And her feet would get cold in the evening, and she would put on thick socks. And then come bedtime, her feet were so cold, my dad would crawl into bed first and put his legs over on her side of the covers and warm up the sheets for her. And then she would come into bed, she'd sit on the bed and peel off her socks really quick. And then she'd slip her feet into bed when the sheets were nice and warm for her. Isn't that sweet? Sorry, this is popping. So next morning, my mother had to get up very early, first light, to get ready to take a commuter train into the city where she was manager in banking. And she had to get up, find her slippers in wee hours and go to the bathroom, get her hair done, and put the suit on, the makeup, and maybe grab some breakfast and walk to the commuter train. At a very early hour, before my father even had to get up to go to the office to work in the church. He was a minister. And so off she would go. And then my dad would get up. And he would get out of bed. It's time for him to get out of bed. He'd walk around the bed to go in to get ready for the morning. And what did he find laying on the floor? Day after day after day. Now, we're going to stop the story right here for a second, because I want you to think about how that feels to get up every morning and see dirty socks on the floor. The hamper is right there. That person is an adult after all. Who feels like that? You get that? Seriously. Sometimes it's even underwear. So, what's the story? What's the story you're telling yourself? Now, if it's drivers, right, and they cut you off in the road, what is it? Frickin' drivers. Insert 4, 5, or 7-letter word here. Or, with the socks and the underwear, right, it's that lazy wife of mine or husband of mine, right? What about the kids? Didn't clean their bedroom, pick up their toys before they get ready, blah, blah, blah. Those spoiled kids, what story are you telling yourself? And this is what I want you to see. Thoughts create how you're feeling, your emotions. It doesn't feel like that's happening because the emotions come in so quick when you see that thing that's triggering you, that you think, of course I feel that way. Are you kidding me? Let's unpack that a little bit. Triggers. All right, so what's a trigger? It's an event plus an emotion. Now, what's an emotion? Emotions are created by the story you're telling yourself. So, if there's an event, socks on the floor, and then an emotion comes along, and you're suddenly triggered and you gotta react. Well, the emotion was based on something you tell yourself about, oh my gosh, you know, I work hard too. Why do I have to? Oh, people are, you know, rude, losers. Something you're telling yourself about what happened with the socks on the floor or the mean drivers. And it's triggering this reaction that you're having. Now look, change the story and you'll change the emotion. So let's do a little example. Does anyone want to volunteer, or do you want me to just go ahead and do it by myself? Yeah?
If you want.
You want to?
Sure.
Okay, come here.
You volunteered for me before.
Oh, I did. All right, I don't know how we're going to get her on the mic, but I want you to think about, an irritant, right? An irritant, let's say a rude driver.
Okay.
And what do you think? When you gotta get to a wait, maybe you're running late, and that person, oh my gosh, they're what?
Unsafe.
They're unsafe. What are they doing?
They're texting while driving.
Putting everybody's life at risk, right?
Yeah, selfish.
Selfish.
Yeah,
And you're feeling a little bit
heated.
perturbed,
Mm-hmm.
judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what if, I'm going to tell you the story of that person, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That person's mother just got rushed to the hospital, and she has to contact her the father
Mm-hmm.
to meet them there, and she's afraid the mother may pass before she can even say goodbye to her, and she's doing the best she can, but she can't stop the car because she might miss who knows what. Now how do you feel about her story?
Sad. Worried for her. Still worried about the texting though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. It changed how you feel inside when you got other information.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you, Dana. So you can think about any instance that perturbs you and think about how that story might actually be different. Now, this is what's happening. It's happening all in your brain. Anger is just a signal alerting you to something that you need to pay attention to, okay? An unmet need, an unheard request, a violation maybe of dignity. It's information, and it's going to require something of you. It doesn't require of you screaming, yelling, hitting, all those things that we talk to the children about, right? But it does require you to pay attention. So I'm going to teach you a little technique that we teach in the prison. We actually teach it to the children too. It's called the brainwash, and we're going to do it together. So I want you to close your eyes and center yourself. I want you to take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, exhale slowly. And do it again, deeply. And the exhale is slower. I want you to do it one more time. Now here's what you did. If you're upset, you had a rush of chemicals into your brain that is causing you stress. The way it does it is, it immediately puts you in fight, flight, or freeze mode by shutting down the reasoning centers of your brain and activating the survival centers of your brain. And what you just did by breathing was you washed your brain out of those chemicals. You can do that in the car, you can do that anywhere. And then washed your brain out, you allowed the chemicals of goodwill and good feeling and well-being to enter your brain, to calm your body, and to activate your reasoning centers. You did all that by taking 3 deep breaths. So there's a reason for that, called a brainwash. Now, once you've washed the brain out and are ready to think again, I want you to think about what need is not being met here that triggered the anger. What do I need right now? What is this emotion I'm feeling really telling me? And what am I teaching the world by this action that I'm doing when I yell at drivers or whatever, right? People are seeing that. So, back to the request part. When you make a request, I want you to make requests when you're in that state. You know, you figured out, like you thought about, what do I need? What am I feeling? Make a request. First, you can make it of yourself or of your higher power. Like, Lord, what do I need to get through this? Lord, tell me, give me some guidance. Or yourself. What is important to me right now? What are my thoughts about this? Where do I want this to go? How do I want to be engaged with this person? How do I want to be in the world? And then you can ask others. I would like to request that next time you leave your underwear on the floor, would you please put it in the hamper? Did that require me freaking and cracking and carrying on with 4, 5, or 7-letter words? No, I don't think so. So this is what we teach in the prison. Breathe, name your feeling, identify your need, and make a request. Now, I'm going to tell you the end of the story, right? My dad walks around the edge of the bed, and he sees the socks on the floor, and he goes up. Now, he told me this, and I'm not making this up. Goes over, picks him up. Oh, my wife works so hard. She gets up before I do. She works hard for her family. She comes home after working in the corporate world and has 2 children to care for and church meetings to go to. And just, look, I can pick up these socks and put them in the hamper for her. And he told me this. He makes it a love ritual.
That's awesome.
Oh, I hope that showed up on the tape, because I'm playing that for my father another time. Oh, so sweet. So, remember when you all shouted out positive things and you sitting in your chair heard those around you shouting out positive things? They see themselves as having positive presence in the world. They see themselves as having positive presence in this world. That's called me assigning them positive intention. So, not all drivers are jerks. Not all wives are lazy or husbands are thoughtless. That's ridiculous. You know? And not all children are spoiled. You know? So assign positive intention to those outside yourself, because you know how you are inside yourself. Well, they feel the same way. Next, be kind and be fair. One of our principles in promises we make to each other at Unitarian Universalist Church is to treat one another with kindness and fairness. I like to say, be kind with fairness. And be fair with kindness. You don't have to be mean about it. Right? But you have to be kind in your fairness. And you're a model. You know, the things I'm telling you right now are ways to deal with all these emotions, not just anger. How to be disappointed in this world. How to be lonely. How to experience grief or regret. Think about the need, identify the feeling, the need, and make a request of yourself, others, and your higher power. And finally, see that? Someone's watching. You know, when you're acting like a jerk behind the wheel because everyone else is a jerk behind the wheel, who are they looking at? Is that what you want to teach? You want to confirm that belief? So, just remember that someone's watching. Thank you, guys.